Why is my first video talking about another big hairy man? What is going on, everyone? Today I'm going to dive into the truth or the myth behind one of the largest cryptids of any forest region, Bigfoot. But as I cannot say foot, we're just going to call him Sasquatch. This particular creature has been known to roam any forested area that is distant from human civilization, but is believed that their natural habitat is in North America, particularly the Pacific Northwest. This species is estimated to be anywhere between 6 to 15 feet tall and completely covered in dark brown to black hair. So far, this description only appears to be any lumberjack living in the Northwest that is hiding from all the coffee mamas doing pumpkin spice season. As you look through many historical accounts and testimonies, people have been sharing the story of Sasquatch for about 1,000 years. This particular picture is from the Tule River Indian Reservation in California. How do you say that? Tule. Other historical sightings have been in the region of Mississippi from early Spanish explorers, and a similar creature in the Appalachians from the Cherokee called... I'm not saying that. The first official sighting was from a surveyor named David Thompson from London, and is mainly known for mapping the American West. David was stated to have found the first set of large prints in 1811. Old Sassy would remain out of national news, but would appear in a couple isolated sightings across the US, such as in 1847 from a Paul Kane, who was a painter, and he reported about a race of cannibalistic men living near Mount St. Helens, Washington. And again in 1893, where US President Teddy Roosevelt wrote a story about an elderly man named Bowman being stalked by a foul-smelling bipedal. That bipedal will ultimately kill his companion in the text Wilderness. Most of the stories of our big hairy bipedal include them being animalistic or extremely hostile, but there are a few decent stories out there. One such is from Reverend Elkanah Walker in 1840. He claimed that there were giants near Spokane, Washington. They lived on top of a mountain and they would just come down and steal salmon from fishermen. Nothing really aggressive besides that. The next time Mr. Big Feet would make national news was in 1924, where 5 gold prospectors were claimed to run into a gorilla man, and it was supposedly attacked at night on Mount St. They ended up fleeing the next morning when the attack stopped and reported it to the nearest forest rangers, who supposedly discredited it, saying that the prints were fake. Like the government hasn't covered up anything else like that in the past. Anyways, the next big appearance wouldn't really take place until the 1960s, when photos and videos would start to emerge. One of the most famous would be from Roger Patterson in 1967 at Bluff Creek, California. Since then, there have been many more sightings of Bigfoot, especially as social media started to come around and people trying to get popular off of sightings and editing software has improved. One major recent example of this would be in April of 2022, a man in Mobile, Alabama would post a picture stating that he found Bigfoot, but later stated it was just an April Fool's prank. Well, of course he would say it was just a prank. The government probably threatened him to hide the truth. Alright, buddy. You can't just make wild accusations like that without saying allegedly, and there's been no proof that a Sasquatch species even exists. What about the different cultural sightings that go back centuries from all over the world? They have to mean something. While there have been multiple sightings of creatures that are described very similarly, it could have been somebody that they didn't know passing by. Well, my great-great-grandfather said he saw Bigfoot one time while he was out on a hunting trip. While I'm not discrediting your grandfather, and I'm not stating that a tall creature does not exist while standing on its hind legs, I am stating that at that time, people prescribed cocaine for having ghosts in their blood. Look, I'm not here to prove that Sasquatch exists or does not exist. I'm just here to provide a minuscule amount of information through all the accounts and historical tales I sifted through. Did I get everything? Absolutely not. Is it possible that some of my information is incorrect? Yes. There are hundreds and hundreds of cases of people saying they saw Bigfoot, and I only try to provide a couple cases and similarities between them all. Out of all the interactions and sightings, there have been a couple similarities. The first major similarity is how the species act. There are multiple reports of it throwing rocks as a territorial display. others knocking on wood or setting up branches as a way to communicate. Some reports have even claimed that they live in caves, while others state that they try to make teepee-like housing. Most sightings or thefts of livestock have happened at night, making people believe that they are kind of nocturnal. It is also said that because only a couple livestock go missing, it's a creature or species that likes to hunt alone rather than a massive pack of animals. They are also believed to be omnivores, eating both plants and animals. Some people have stated that they left food or trinkets out for old Sassy and later came back with, rocks or twigs as an item of trade. Almost like how my wife lured me with her smell of food when she's cooking. Let's talk about the impact that Sasquatch has had on the entertainment industry besides the video I'm making for you today. There have been many movies made of our friend, including Harry and the Hendersons from 1987 and Bigfoot from 2012, as well as a lot of reality or horror TV shows where they go into the woods and attempt to either find Sasquatch or evidence of Sasquatch, but still no success at this time. There was also a pretty popular game that came out on Steam in 2017 called Bigfoot, with 2 different modes. One where you and 3 friends play against an AI monster as you try and find clues of missing campers and attempt to kill or be killed. The second mode is just a 5-player co-op where instead of an AI monster, it's another player. In my opinion, the most likely explanation for what Sasquatch really is just a grizzly bear. They stand at about 9 feet tall on their hind legs and have been known to mark or play with trees, but I've been wrong in the past and I could be wrong again. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and like always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm off to find my lumberjack in the woods.